The draft is an ever-expanding thing. ESPN is in its last year with the draft. I am curious if there will be a lot of people that try and wrestle away the draft from ESPN. One of the most popular things that Pat McAfee does is his annual draft extravaganza where he's adjacent to the draft and talking to Brock Lesnar and an assortment of others. And last week, he debuted and announced, McAfee did, that Bill Belichick would be performing with him this Thursday. Bill Belichick had his choice of jobs in the broadcasting field, I would imagine. I would imagine that there was no shortage of opportunity for him there. If you saw how he appeared on McAfee, he did so with 6 Super Bowl trophies behind him, as there's a report on ESPN of his failed job hunt in coaching. And I read but did not see, Stugotz, that McAfee did not ask him about that. And I think McAfee is someone who is proud of doing it his way. And there are many people that I've talked to in the athlete space, including Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, who say that they want to protect relationships. And I believe that this is a change going forward that you're going to have to get used to in exchange for the access, someone asking questions who doesn't feel beholden to ask what it is that you think should be asked on behalf of the audience or journalists or anything else. And I don't suppose that anyone will care that Bill Belichick was not asked about the report from Seth Wickersham, Don Van Natta, and Jeremy Fowler about Arthur Blank taking calls from Bob Kraft saying, don't trust Belichick. But I would have liked to have heard Belichick's response to that.
I was going to ask, do you care? So you do care.
I care, but
I understand that.
But
too.
I don't believe that the audience does. I don't believe that people, as long as they can get their access to Bill Belichick, care what has to be exchanged for that. But yes, that is something that I care about. I would like to know that there are no restrictions, but that wall has not only tumbled, it is now, again, Stugotz, Belichick could have worked anywhere that he wanted to.
Right.
He chose
Except the NFL.
Right. In broadcasting, I'm assuming that he had his choice of jobs.
No doubt.
And the one that he chose was a safe space that Pat McAfee is making a safe space for a whole lot of people. I remember we left here last week, right, while he's announcing that Belichick is going to be on his show, and Caitlin Clark was on his show when we left here, and she was saying, I'll do a weekly show with you. And I do wonder, because there are a lot of people questioning whether or not, or there were a lot of people questioning whether the McAfee thing will work or not, and they're paying him so much money, Stugotz, that they're putting all of ESPN and Disney's resources behind making sure that that show succeeds. That show is going to succeed.
Yes.
For a number of different reasons, but the investment will make it so that it cannot fail. It's not something that will fail unless Pat McAfee doesn't want to work there, because he's not even under the employee restrictions that other employees would be under, because he's renting his stuff to them and they're making the maximum investment. And this is where I tell you where some of the new media can absolutely change things, where you won't even notice, or care what is given away in exchange for the access, because the access is enough these days. And I would say, generally speaking, the media's curating with people, the job the media does,
right,
it's either not trusted or disliked. Very few Q ratings are lower as a profession than media. In fact, go ahead and put this on the poll at Le Batard Show. More despicable popularity rating, media or lawyers? Media or sports agents? Like, what do you look at, media or used car salesmen? Because
lawyers is pretty good.
No, but I believe media has probably taken out all of them now. I believe that there are very few occupations right now that need more change and have less public trust than the media.
So you're saying I walk into a restaurant, couple friends, few people in there recognize me. At their table, they're saying, oh, that asshole over there, look at him, that media jerk. Is that what's happening? Is that what you're saying?
That's tough for David Sampson because he's both.
I think that most people, if you just ask them, I don't think that's the way it presents itself. They don't.
That would make me sad.
They don't hate you on the spot. But if I ask them, if I said, how do you feel about the media in general? And is the response going to be positive or negative? If I give you the choices, if that's how I frame the question to everyone listening to this, how do you feel about the media?
Is neutral an option?
Put all three of those up. How do you feel about the media? Positive, neutral, negative. Because I think negative, especially if you put that up on social media, an existence that is negative by itself. Like social media exists, I feel like, just for people to argue about things.
It depends on the person, though, right? Like Charles Barkley, it's going to be, yeah, I love him.
But I'm not talking
Media
about
is
that.
a very broad, like that includes Fox News, it includes CNN, it includes NBC.
Right.
But I'm not
us.
making any of those distinctions. I'm just saying, how do you feel about the media? Hard stop.
Yeah, Dan, they hate us. I'm trying not to come to terms with that every single day of my life. But yes, people hate us.